Hi, I'm Brian Lord, Senior Vice President here at Premier Speakers Bureau. I'm excited to have on Chip Eichelberger, master of Get Switched On, author, speaker, and motivator extraordinaire. Now, for this one in particular, this is for event planners, giving them tips on how to do their jobs better. And of course, we do have some people out there, you know, they're 25, 30-year event planners. Some people are just starting planning their first event. You've done well over 2,000 events in your lifetime. You were Tony Robbins for several years, 6 years speaking in the U.S., around the world. And one of your things you're kind of an expert on is room setup.
Yeah.
How does that affect it? Should the event planner choose that? Should the hotel? What do you do?
It's a good question. Now, what I've learned over the years is that room logistics can really make or break it. And we're talking the basics of heating and air, for example. Sometimes you come in at half an hour before the event start and it's too hot. Well, if you got a room for 1,000 people, it's too late. Got to make sure that that's on. Lighting is crucial. So many times you'll go in there and they'll open up the air wall and they'll put the stage in the darkest part of the room and there's no additional lights. Light equals energy. The way the chairs are set up, tight is good. Typically, I always ask, how many people do you expect? 1,000. If it's 1,000 or 200, if it's 1,000, they'll put up 1,200 chairs, the hotel. If it's 200, they'll put up 300. So it's better to have the room tight, and it's also better, and I've got a document you can download right there. It says room setup suggestions. People hate to be like this. They hate that. They want to be about 4 or 5 inches apart.
Yeah.
When you're setting up the next line of chairs, you don't put them right behind each other. You stagger them.
Yeah.
Don't have a middle aisle. When you have a middle aisle, the poor speaker's on stage talking to the great sea. I mean, you don't want to have the Dead Sea there. There's no energy. So having the first row, you'll go in sometimes, it's 25 feet from the stage. You're standing there, it's hard to connect. So taking control of how the room is set up, that document will help you show a diagram how to chevron a room, for example, where you have one center section and then an aisle on each side, and the other side's angled about 45 degrees. So you want every belly button turned towards the room. Having the music good, having the microphones tested in advance, all those little things. Because sometimes, like you said, there's a professional meeting planner. They've done 20 years of meetings. Sometimes the person drew the short straw.
Yeah.
And so they're like scrambling what to do. So setting that up. I always ask, for example, a closing presentation. How many people do you expect? Well, 500. I go, well, do people ever leave early? Yeah, it happens. How many people? Well, maybe 350. Can we take out 150 chairs? Because if you're trying to do an energetic closing and you have 350 people spread out over 500 chairs, the energy just wanes. Having your music scripted. When people hit the room, there's 2 ways to do it, for example. When I was with Tony, we try to keep people out. Because what happens is if people meander into the room a half an hour before you're going to start, the energy level's really down. But if you kind of hold them back and they're, well, this is different, why are we doing this? So you kind of keep them in, and then when you open the doors, have the right energetic music. Because if you leave it to the event staff, for example, to the AV guy, he might put on Yanni. And people are sleeping as they walk in the room. So having that music scripted, having the light right, the microphones right, having the people close enough, having the right number of chairs, giving them some elbow room. I mean, all that stuff really takes a good event, make it a great event. But I've seen it so many times where you have an energetic speaker, they're up there in the dark. If people can't see their face, people tune out. So that's a couple key things.
No, that is great information. We really appreciate it, Chip. And for you event planners, we're also doing another event with, or another interview coming up here in a second with Chip. As you can tell, he's not a very energetic speaker, but it still should have some good information in that interview. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and tune in for more great interviews about both speakers and also about some tips that help you in event planning. Thanks so much, Chip. Appreciate you being here.
Excellent. Thank you.